thank y'all, darling Wilmington, North Carolina. Honey, thank y'all. And thank y'all for watching that first Netflix special. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. That changed my life. And I have only watched it one time because if I watch myself, I feel like I'm going to vomit. And I'm ashamed to tell y'all, when I watched that thing, I should have been thinking, oh, I should have done that better, or I should have said that, or I could have done that. No. All I could think of the whole time I watched that thing was, when did my breast when did my breast get so fat? And I'm not talking, you North Carolina boys, I'm not talking about a cute fat. I'm talking big old mammal breast. And it felt to me like one was going that way and one was going that way. And then, y'all, okay, I was in a movie with Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell. I know, that was crazy. That came out of nowhere. And I tell you who did that for me, that little Reese Witherspoon, that doll, that smart thing. And she made me her big sister, Gwyneth. And let me tell y'all that Reese Witherspoon is the size of this glass. And she stood next to me in that movie, in that wedding movie, and her little head hit right here. And when I saw the movie, I thought, oh, her head's the size of this breast. And we shot that thing in Atlanta. It took 2 months, and it was so fun, and it was like being at summer camp. It really was. But I was scared to death. Before I went down there, I thought I was going to get the shingles. I was scared to death. And I thought, well, I bet I'll lose weight. I bet I'll lose weight because I'm scared to death, and I'll probably have explosive diarrhea every day. And then I thought, all those little people in Hollywood are so tiny. Everybody's frail and little bitty. The men have got big heads and little legs. I don't know if y'all have all noticed that. Think of Tom Cruise. Big head, little legs. And I thought, well, I bet they don't feed those little Hollywood people when they're doing a movie. That'll be good for me. I can go without food for 2 months. Well, no, that's not what happens. There's a thing called Crafty. And these darling people cook all day long on a movie set. And because it's in a union, they have to feed you a hot meal every 2.5 to 3 hours. Reese didn't eat it, but I did. Because let me tell you this about movies. You sit there for a long time during the day with nothing to do until they call your name, and you get kind of bored. And then some little darling man will yell empanadas, and I would just take off running as hard as I could. I wore the same shoe throughout that movie, and it was a wedge with a strap going up my ankle. And by the end of that 2 months, those darling wardrobe people had to poke an extra hole in my strap because I was retaining fluid so bad. Look at these darling men here tonight that live in Wilmington, North Carolina. So cute. Y'all could be home watching baseball, but you're going to have to hear about my fat breast and my retaining fluid. If I have time, I'll talk about my reflux. I don't know. Just hold on, boys. I don't know. Okay, let me tell y'all that I fell in love with everybody on that movie set, but I really got close to the hair and makeup people. And they were all local people from Atlanta. And every time I went in that trailer, they would say to me, Leanne, you have got to let us be the ones to take you to this historical place in Atlanta. Everybody's got to go at least one time in their life. Please let us be the ones to take you. And I was like, okay, I love history. They wanted to take me to the Claremont Lounge. Anybody here heard of that? Well, let's tell all these other innocent and sweet, precious people what that Sodom and Gomorrah is. The Claremont Lounge is in the Claremont Hotel, and that's, I guess, a historical hotel. And they painted it pink, and I think it's expensive to stay there. And there's a rooftop bar where all the young people take their Instagram pictures and put it on there. And then inside the hotel is a restaurant, a bar, and a coffee shop. Down in the basement, in a dark black hole, is the Claremont Lounge, and that is a strip club. And when I found that out, I said, oh, I'm sorry, I have the Holy Spirit. I know. I'm not going to that mess. And they were like, it's not what you think it is, Leanne. Just trust us. It's not what you think it is. The only thing I've ever known about a strip club, there was one in Knoxville, Tennessee, that was on the side of the interstate, and it was called The Catch. And my little children thought it was a Mexican restaurant. And then I've seen movies, I've seen movies with strippers and professional athletes and lights and poles and all that kind of stuff. This is not that. This is more like Ripley's Believe It or Not. But I didn't know that, and they kept begging me to go, and I was so freaked out. I asked my middle child, Maggie, I said, do you think if I go to this thing, I'm going to feel the presence of Satan? And she said, yeah, girl, I do. And I said to my baby child, who's fascinated by sin, I said, do you think I'll feel Satan? She went, no, I don't think so. They both know I'm very sensitive. I have felt the presence of Satan on Bourbon Street. In New Orleans, I think he lives there full time. And in Las Vegas twice. So, they kept begging me to go. And so we go down these dark steps, down in this hole. And there's these big men standing at the bottom, and they go, cash only. If you take your phone out and use it, we'll beat you to death with it. Well, they didn't say that, but it felt like that. And the hair and makeup people, they said, oh, Leanne, you'll get new material out of it. Anytime anybody says that to me, I know something traumatic's about to happen. Okay, we go into this basement of this hotel, and it's a basement. And there are no lights, no poles, nothing like that. There's a tiny little stage with the bar is built around it. And it's got a low ceiling. So all these women that dance there that are over 5 feet tall have to dance like this. We go in there, and this is the impersonation the hair and makeup people had of me. They said that I held my purse all night and went. After I was there for a while, I realized there's people that like to go to this place. First of all, darling gay men. Darling, precious gay men. And I don't know if it's because, hey, I don't know if it's because y'all like to encourage and lift up and cheer. I think so, you doll. Okay, and then women's groups. Women's groups go. That sounds like Bible study, not that. It's like girls with cowboy hats on and boas, and they're going for bachelorettes and birthday, and they're going, oh, that kind of girl. And then serial killers. Serial killers like to go. I know I looked in the face of a serial killer. The first woman that came out was at least 70 years old. I thought, he's in a drug cartel. He has another family in Idaho. I've always thought he had another family in Idaho because all of our married life he has said, I told you that, and he hasn't. He thinks he's told me stuff, and he has not. And I've said, I've never heard that before in my life. Finally, one day I go, are you telling a woman in Idaho all this? I said, are you going to let her go to Panera, Chuck? Okay, let me tell y'all that Chuck